Welcome to Saaf Sida with Vishnu. 23 years before India's independence, 62 cantonments in the country were notified under the Cantonments Act of 1924. Now these cantonments were essentially a part of the British colonial legacy, which were designed in our cities and towns for the military to control local population. But that purpose has gone after independence. Cantonments are different from military stations. Cantonments comprise both military and civilian population and are primarily used for training and educational purposes only. The typical day-to-day issues faced by the civilian population in cantonments are unauthorized road closures, lack of basic amenities and civic infrastructure, multiple issues to renovate homes or to build toilets, and issues with voter enrollment, among many others. Section 258 in the Cantonment Act of 2006 clearly states that a board shall not permanently close any street without giving a public notice or inviting objections and suggestions from the general public. Blatantly bypassing this regulation, the local military authorities in the Secunderabad Cantonment Board have unilaterally closed down over 20 roads, causing immense trauma to the civilians residing in those areas. Minister KTR, without an exception, has been pleading with all defense ministers since 2014 to transfer defense lands for the purpose of building civic infrastructure. But the requests have been falling on deaf ears of the Modi government. Even Honorable Vice President of India's request was put on the back burner by the Modi government. If it is a security issue and if there is no such policy, how come the NDA government transferred 210 acres of defense land to Karnataka government in 2018? Why it becomes an issue only in Telangana? Since 2 days, the BJP's troll army, Godi media, WhatsApp University and their propaganda machinery has been coming down heavily on Minister KTR for just voicing out his ire against the Government of India on behalf of 2 lakh plus civilians suffering in cantonment area. But the same Godi media remains a mute spectator when former Union Shipping Minister Mr. Nitin Gadkari asks the Indian Navy to go to Pakistan, or when the BJP-led Pune Municipal Corporation cuts water to the cantonment area in Pune due to unpaid water bills. When the Modi government decides to sell defense lands to private firms, it doesn't become a national issue. But when Minister KTR seeks transfer of defense lands to develop civic infrastructure, that becomes a national issue. When Modi government mulled on abolition of all cantonment boards across the country last year, it doesn't become a national issue. But when Minister KTR makes a statement that the state government may consider to cut power and water if the board doesn't cooperate, that becomes a national issue. Unfortunately, that's the irony. Jai Telangana, Jai Hind.